An important step in perpetuating the grand tradition of the Baltimore Colts was taken in February 1980 with the completion of a new team training center. Located in Owings Mills, Maryland, the complex is undeniably the finest of its kind in the National Football League. Since professional football has become a 12-month occupation, the Colts are a step ahead in preparing their forces for the challenges of the 1980s. The dedication ceremonies attracted dignitaries from Baltimore City and county. A new head coach, and joining Colt owner Robert Irsay, Pete Rozelle.
I think it does set a standard, Bob. When those rookies come in, they're really going to know what pro football is. It's first class. And I hope certainly that it helps the Colts get back where they belong. And I think with that intense pride and this fine complex and Bert's shoulder staying well, you'll do all right.
We think, and I'm sure we're going to give the people of Baltimore a very fine team this year. I do have a new coach by popular demand, Mike McCormick, and I want to tell you, I think he's going to do a job. He stands tall, he acts tall, and I think he's going to do a lot of tall things for the people of Baltimore.
There is no better facility in football. We are committed to getting our caliber of football up to the excellence of this complex.
With a new training center and a new head coach providing a new direction, the Baltimore Colts are clearly on the way up. The 1979 Colt Roundup began with all the high hopes that every new year brings. However, many of these hopes were dashed by circumstances beyond the Colts' control. Frequently, sheer overenthusiasm caused the best of intentions to go unrewarded. A pattern began to develop in the season opener against the Kansas City Chiefs. While the Colts generated many of the ingredients necessary to win, they were victims of the all-too crucial mistake. Following the first game injury to quarterback Burt Jones, Greg Landry filled in capably against Tampa Bay, throwing touchdown passes to Don Hardiman and first-year wide receiver Brian DeRue. The crucial mistake in Week 2, a missed extra point that would have won the game in regulation time. Another early lead vanished. The pattern continued in Cleveland. The Colts built a 10-point lead in the first quarter, primarily due to rookie Larry Brazile's touchdown of a blocked punt. While the rookie performed beyond expectations, Roger Carr's miscalculation combined with 3 missed field goals allowed the Browns to win by 3 points. Seven days later, the arrival of the Colts at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh had the world champion Steelers confused and disoriented. Were these the same Colts who had lost their first 3 games of the '79 season? Roger Carr's touchdown earned the Colts a 3-point lead they held until the fourth quarter. Carr has seen the best and worst of times in Baltimore and knows the Colt organization is one that traditionally rises again.
players coming into a system like this, they realize that past. It hasn't been too many years ago that a lot of players on this team were in the playoffs 3 years in a row. They've lost it for whatever reason, but I think they're embarrassed by it. They've had a taste of winning, and they want to get back there.
The most valuable component in McCormick's defensive system is the Colts' premier end, Fred Cook. In his 6th NFL season, number 72 has established himself as the true cornerstone of the Baltimore defensive line. His 110 tackles and 11 quarterback sacks were clear indications that all pro honors for Fred Cook are forthcoming in the 1980s. Cook's defensive partners on the front line included Mike Barnes, number 63, and the first-year end Greg Fields, number 79. Herb Orvis, number 88, continued to provide inside strength, along with number 76, Joe Ehrman. The deepest and perhaps most talented contingent of Colt defenders were the linebackers.
I think the Baltimore Colt linebacking corps is as solid a group of men as any linebackers in the league. I think in the middle with Ed Smanini, who a lot of people say is too small to play, but don't tell Ed that. He's all over the field. He played up to all-pro qualifications last year, and I think he's going to do nothing but get better.
Joining Simonini were first-round draft pick Barry Krause and number 51, Mike Ozdowski. Though injured the last 4 games of '79, Ozdowski's intensity was infectious and brought out the best in number 59, Mike Woods, a rookie whose special team efforts were only outdone by his standard linebacking duties. Stan White, number 53, sealed off the right side and became the Colts' 4th leading tackler. And then there is Sanders Shiver.
On the outside, I think that Sandy Shiver came in his 3rd year last year, came in and played very good football. I don't think there's a faster linebacker in the league, and from what I saw on film of this past season, he's as physical as any linebacker in the league.
Simply said, Sanders Shiver is a thoroughbred who hits like a truck and runs like a road racer. The Baltimore linebacking company looks forward to even bigger profits in 1980. The Sentinels of the Colt defensive secondary combined both youth and experience to steal 23 opponent passes. Paramount among these performers was number 40. The emergence of Bruce Laird was significant in 1979. In addition to returning 3 interceptions for over 100 yards, he doubled as the Colts' 2nd leading tackler. Joining Laird in the veteran category were cornerback Doug Nettles and safety Lyle Blackwood, number 44. Blackwood enjoyed his 3rd solid season as a Colt with 4 interceptions and an even 100 tackles. Intelligent evaluation of the college draft yielded not 1, but 2 extraordinary defensive backs. Not often do 2 rookies adjust and develop as rapidly and successfully as did Larry Brazile, number 47, and Nesby Glasgow, number 25. Brazile's 4 interceptions included the Colts' only defensive touchdown of the year, a 31-yard return during a 38-28 conquest of the Cincinnati Bengals. Nesby Glasgow's most impressive efforts occurred on special teams, where he set several Colt records. Above all, his combined kick return yardage was the most by any return man in the American Football Conference. Glasgow and Brazil, plus Kim Anderson from injured reserve. Names that genuinely reflect a Colt defensive unit that is on the way up. By mid-season, the Colts prepared to straighten up and wipe away the residue of an uncertain beginning. Healthy once more, quarterback Burt Jones was eager to give the Colts a much-needed lift. His first challenge was met and beaten in Buffalo. The ringmaster Jones was instrumental in bringing back the Colts' winning rhythm. And if Jones was the ringmaster, then running back Joe Washington was the high wire act. Feeling the strain of a 7-week layoff, Jones completed just 8 passes. Tight end Mac Alston caught 3, and his fourth-quarter touchdown was the winning margin. Baltimore was primed for their annual showdown with the New England Patriots, a team that awakens the spirit in every Colt.
I think that a lot of times a team will just have a feeling that they can beat this team almost any time they go on the field. And I think this is a relationship between the Baltimore Colts and New England Patriots. I think that they go in there with a confidence that no matter what they are going to do, what they're going to try to do, is going to be successful.
Indeed, there is something about New England that brings out the best in the Colts, enough to make the Patriots' collective heads spin. By the season's 9th week, the Patriots claimed the AFC's top defense and informed Burt Jones of that fact immediately. Yet Jones showed no signs of favoring his shoulder. He met the importance of this rivalry head-on, stretching out and cutting loose. Colt receivers like Glenn Dowdy found openings in the Patriot secondary, and Jones found him for big games. And then it was Joe Washington's turn to create his own openings.
First and goal now at the New England 8. Carr wide right the other way. The give to Washington left side. Ducks in, spins down to about the 6, and then got popped by linebacker Stan Hunt, and then bounces off and goes in.
What a run. And I think it's his first rushing touchdown as a Colt.
What a great second effort from Joe Washington.
The Colt lead would last just 5 minutes. New England recovered quickly as the mercurial Stanley Morgan scored from 56 yards out to tie the game at 7. The Colts then displayed an explosiveness of their own, driving 76 yards in less than 3 minutes. Running back Don McCauley's 5 pass receptions registered 84 gutty yards on the afternoon, and Don Hardeman's touchdown burst earned the Colts a narrow 4-point lead by halftime. Burt Jones continued to thread his passes through the fabric of the Patriot secondary. Mac Alston's magnetism in the 3rd period attracted an impromptu performance by the New England Ballet Company and set up the second of 3 Joe Washington touchdowns, this one by air. The Colts' 11-point lead was tentative. The uncanny ability, agility, and mobility of quarterback Steve Grogan, plus 2 field goals, turned the scorer's tables on the Colts. The tables were returned when Burt Jones went to his main strength.
Turn, give to Washington, swing to the right side, makes a cut. Washington to the 5, Washington scores!
Way to go, Joe. That's his second rushing touchdown since he's been a Colt. Both of them today. And the Colts have taken the lead back 30-26.
The Colt offense gave Baltimore the lead. The defense would make it stand.
An inspired defensive play to stop Grogan 2 yards shy. Here comes New England, the game on the balance.
I don't know that you have a record of what do they do in the last 47 seconds from your 2-yard line when they have to score on the next down.
Morgan in motion, Grogan back rolling to his left. Does he throw or run? He is looking for somebody to throw to into the end zone block. And it is incomplete. The Colts have held him. The Colts have held New England.
There were many outstanding performers on this day, the high point in the Colts season. As always, Burt Jones was a vital factor. But the following Sunday, Jones re-injured his shoulder.
What I think we have to do is take Burt off that target spot, get our defense to playing where they don't rely on Burt that much. If we can get it to that state, and then we have a healthy Burt Jones, I'm not sure that we can be stopped. But at the same time, I don't want to minimize the importance of a Greg Landry to this football team. I think towards the end of the season last year, they realized that Greg could win too.
And when he did. Trailing the Bengals at halftime, Landry came in to complete 14 passes for 165 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Colts were winners for the 3rd consecutive week. Huff, Griffin, Pratt, Mendenhall, Baker, Van Dyne, and Hart. These names spell out the offensive line that protects Colt quarterbacks and creates space for Colt runners like Joe Washington and the exceptional runner-receiver Don McCauley. McCauley's 55 receptions totaled some 575 yards and often relieved the pressure on the game's busiest back, Joe Washington. At 5 feet 10, 180 pounds, Washington is the super gnat of pro football, quicker than a blink, who enjoyed his finest season ever.
I would hate to think of what happened with the Colts if we should lose Joe Washington. When you take a man who has gained almost 800 yards like he did last year, was a leading pass receiver in the NFL, that with 82 receptions, that's a lot of offense. Joe is definitely very important in our plans. We would like to use him perhaps in even a wider range.
The only runner in the AFC to rank among the top 10 in both rushing and receiving, Washington is the quintessential all-purpose back. In 1979, he all-purposed his way to over 1,600 yards. Joe Washington, truly the pendulum that rings the Colts' chimes. Quarterback Greg Landry set a team record for pass completions in '79. Among his targets, Roger Carr and Glenn Doughty, veterans of 3 divisional championship years. Mike Ciani, acquired from Oakland in '78, and Reese McCall, the imposing tight end whose improvement has been remarkable. With just 11 catches the season before, McCall worked long and hard to improve his pass receiving techniques. The result? 37 catches, 536 yards, 4 touchdowns. The legs of Roger Carr have carried him through 8 years in the NFL. Despite limited opportunities in 1979, Carr maintained his career average of 21 yards per reception. The Colts had 4 different receivers who gained over 500 yards apiece. Washington, McCall, McCauley, and Glenn Doughty, number 35. Doughty's sideline expertise accounted for a good part of his 35 catches and 510 yards. The promise for the new decade also rests in the hands of number 45, Mike Ciani, who played a significant role in Baltimore's season-ending victory over the New York Giants at the Meadowlands. Winning in a landslide, 31-7, the Colts left the 70s as they came in, a big win. It was a year of discovery for the Baltimore Colts. The Colts of the 80s are clearly a team on the way up, and Burt Jones can't wait.
I'm truly optimistic about this upcoming year. I think that we've done a lot of positive things. This will be a direct reflection of how the Baltimore Colts will play in the future, and that is better.